the Rockford Files. Won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of the Gen X Files. Welcome to the Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is another little ditty we call
For the Stepdads.
Yeah. Crack open
Schlitz.
Schlitz or Olympia.
Zodiac.
Sure.
I've actually never had any of those.
Billy's beer. Billy Carter.
Valentine's. Billy Carter. Oh yeah, that's right. He did have a beer.
Billy beer.
Billy beer.
It's worth a lot of money now.
Billy beer.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
With Billy beer?
With just that, with like I love Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter is the absolute best ex-president that ever ex-presidented. That guy is a saint. If I,
And I'm going to jinx it right now, but he's never going to die.
God, don't say that. I mean, I hope not. Don't say that. No. Yeah, I mean,
he just is so. I mean, he's like what 97 or 98.
Yeah, he survived brain cancer like 6 times and all sorts of stuff, assassination attempts. But that guy, he builds Habitat for the Humanity.
Oh yeah,
he teaches Sunday school. I mean, he does. The guy walks the walk. He's like the sweetest. Yeah. He makes every other human being just look like a POC.
Yeah, that's part of the reason that I like Obama so much, because his after presidential stuff has been just as important as his actual presidential stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's like his work that he's doing and trying to, do good for humanity.
Yeah, but Obama's slipping in some cool stuff too, like winning Emmys and, doing Netflix
sure,
stuff.
He's doing that now.
He's got his swag and,
If Carter was president in 2008 and then got out in 2016, he would be winning Emmys too.
Yeah, I just think Carter he has no ego. Totally. There's so much humility to the man.
Yeah.
He just seems like the most decent human being ever, regardless of what you feel about his politics.
He is the best Christian to ever Christian.
Yeah, and he got the shaft.
He did.
About the whole, the hostages.
Yeah.
He took care of that, and then Reagan's like, nope. I won't take credit. Well, I'll tell you. Talk about the opposite. Anyway.
All right, anyway.
Let's get out of the arena. So let's just talk a minute about, the month's shows. What's funny is almost as much as it was a crazy Cusack show, it was a little bit of a Savage Steve Holland soiree.
It was a Savage Steve Holland soiree.
I mean, we are definitely going to give him his own show.
Oh, yeah.
Because, there's so much more to cover. There's still how I got into college and all, and his whole life story and all. But it was such a fun, I think, as much as I would like to say that like Scorsese and Godard and Cassavetes and all these great guys influenced my work and all that.
Yeah.
Just as much as is Savage Steve Holland.
Oh,
I mean,
completely.
and the Coen brothers and the guys that just were doing the weird, crazy stuff. And a lot of my comedy and funny stuff is definitely influenced by.
Oh yeah, totally. I didn't realize how much my writing was influenced by Savage Steve Holland until we did this month of Cusack movies, and because he's able to do the completely absurd but ground it in reality and make it work.
Yeah, and smart,
it's
wacky
hard.
is
it's so good,
and wacky with depth.
Yeah.
Wacky for wacky's sake. That's a hard thing. The Airplane guys, the Zucker brothers, they do wacky, just like straight out, no BS. Yeah. No, nothing.
They don't
wacky.
care about character development.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
They own that genre. I don't think anybody, even. As much as I like the Scary Movie and the Wayne Brothers stuff, it's still not.
They're fine, but it doesn't have that same level. Yeah.
It's a hard bar to reach because it's absolute perfection. The first Airplane movie, the Naked Gun series,
the Kentucky Fried Movie,
Pitch Perfect, all of them, and
Pitch Perfect. That's a good one too.
Pitch Perfect, which is the Zucker brothers. You didn't know? No, but it's that kind of thing, and I think. For Savage Steve, he owns the 80s, the wacky comedies, the whole like animation reality swirl. That's not, some jumping into a cartoon kind of thing.
Right.
It just adds to the story and flows. He does that perfectly.
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah. It's absolutely brilliant.
It was so much fun watching these movies again. It just puts me in such a good mood. And it was so much fun. And also watching John Cusack again back in his prime. And in his beginnings.
Yeah, his early. Yeah.
But it's just, he was such a huge, he's like our first kind of comedy movie star for the Gen X generation. Like the big breakout, kind of our guy. That got our sensibility that was kind of weird, like we are, and damaged and vulnerable a bit, and he really, more so than like Judd Nelson or all these other guys, and no disrespect to them, but I think he captured the Gen X youth experience more than any other actor, and
especially
I agree. For misfit and weirdos like us.
Yes. Because you think about like Judge Reinhold from
Fast Times.
Fast Times. Like his character was kind of like an early version of that, not the comedy part, but like the sensitive, like, hey, I'm going to do good and all this. But Cusack was able to take that kind of archetype and make it into his own.
Right.
And it's so brilliant because you identify so much with him and him trying to find a girl and like trying to grow up but doesn't really want to, and like it's just so amazing and brilliant.
Well, I think that the difference too between he and Judge Reinhold is Judge Reinhold started out on top, and we're watching his fall, and so there's still true, like the hubris in the character, that just can't believe how essy his
how messed
his
up
life is
is
getting. But Cusack, it's not that Cusack is a loser in these movies.
No.
He's just a normal dude, you know? He's not
very grounded,
and he's
very
got
down to earth.
He's just the guy, he's everybody he's the rest of us in high school.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Not the popular kids, not the kids that get totally picked on, but just kind of the anonymous floaters that go through and then somehow rise to the occasion, whether it's a skiing competition on one ski, or a boat regatta with a Ferrari engine, baby.
It really was. You were able to identify very well with these, and that's that I give 100% credit to that. I mean, Cusack is great, but 100% credit to Savage Steve Holland for finding that, and because he was that. I mean, he was in his mid to late 20s when he was doing these movies, and he was that. He was like, he didn't sit down and go, why is nobody speaking for me? But it was just what he was doing.
His experience is what you're saying. Yeah, definitely. I mean, he was an art school guy, and he was a drawer, an artist.
He did a lot of drawing.
A lot of this stuff is kind of autobiographical. He did have a half-assed attempt at suicide after his,
He did.
And
he did.
He's very honest about that, and I think that's the key to his genius is honesty.
Yes.
All of the characters.
I 100% agree.
Every character is 100% honest about who they are.
Yeah.
Even the bad guys.
Yeah, that's true. And that's the part of the reason that I love that we started with Better Off Dead and ended with One Crazy Summer, because you really get to see Savage Steve Holland's growth as he goes, and
Cusack too.
Yeah. Agreed. And it again, I go back to your mantra of I don't want to know things about actors, because I did not need to know that he did not like Better Off Dead, because he was great in One Crazy Summer.
But he does now, so it's all comes around. It's judge me, on my attitudes and actions in my early 20s, and you'd want to put 1,000 sticks of dynamite around me and blow me up.
Yeah,
gross. Yeah. I mean, we're all gross back then because I was reading Ayn Rand back then, man. It's gross, right?
I'm sorry. Who are you again?
Exactly, but that's part of becoming who you are. Is you got to go through this kind of like militant, almost sociopic phase sometimes, especially if you're an artist, because you have to figure out who your identity is in your art or what you're doing.
Right.
And if you're damaged and you have a bunch of, I don't know what Cusack's home life was or whatever, but from my own experience, it's like, there's a lot of variables around there that, I get it. But
it's especially for artists like Savage Steve Holland and John Cusack that are kind of weird and kind of off. Like, for example, James Gunn. Like, he's a very weird, has an weird sense of humor. And he said some stuff when he was younger that he was very much like, look, man, I was 20. I've grown past that, and like I've become a better person.
Yeah, it's just the thing that bums me out is I think if there wasn't that issue, we would have seen more collaboration.
I agree
between the two of those guys, and that is the sadness. That's the shame of it all.
I would have liked to have seen Cusack and Savage Steve Holland growing together and like making movies for guys, and they're like, oh, they're in their 20s now and they're in their 30s, and like kind of going back to that, like, hey, this is what it's like to be me as a person.
It's so sad that he can't get the rights because one epic fall made now using the same actors would be like for Netflix or Hulu or something. You don't even have to release in the theater, but it would be huge for guys
and
like us.
It would be great. And given the fact that they're all, not that they're close, but that they all still get along really well, and like they're still very collaborative and they're very funny. Like I would love to see One Epic Fall, essentially One Crazy Summer 2 35 years later. Like it would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, that kind of I mean, I love like the Judd Apatow stuff, and I love the gross out, and I love the edgy stuff. But it would be fun also to see just another kind of sweet, funny comedy that's got a little bit of edge, but it's not dark or edgy. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing, and this is from what I know about Savage Steve Holland, is his movies have heart, and it sounds cheesy, and I hate saying it that way, but it's true. It's that one thing that's there that like Judd Apatow, I don't really think has.
No, he has heart. That's what makes his movies work for me as well. I mean, it's down. I mean, come on, like 40-Year-Old Virgin. It was about the friendships.
40-Year-Old Virgin. Yes,
and Knocked Up. Was.
I don't know.
I mean, I just don't
see it the same way that I see it from Savage Steve Holland.
Yeah, yes. I just think it was really fun to revisit all that stuff. And
totally.
And like I said, watching One Crazy Summer came at the perfect time because I was in a bad mood, and it cured it.
Well, we have the DVD. You can watch it whenever you want.
We're going to have to keep it on a loop.
24 hours of One Crazy Summer.
Get some VR goggles and just have it on a loop.
It was fun though. I'm really glad. I'm glad we did it, and I'm happy that it started out as a Cusack month and kind of became like, hey, this is what influenced us as young men.
Well, you discover things along the way.
Thanks for stopping by, Paul.
Yeah. That's right. So that stuff was really fun.
It was really great.
What are you watching?
I just finished the second season of Primal. I cannot stress enough how much, if you like animation at all, I cannot stress enough how much you need to watch Genndy Tartakovsky's Primal.
Nice.
It is done so well. The second season just ended a couple weeks ago. I don't think they're going to do any more.
No.
I mean, maybe, but that 20 episodes is such a perfect story, and it's so good, and there's almost no dialogue through the entire thing. It is done so well. The animation is so good.
Nice.
I cannot stress enough how amazing it is.
Okay, so
check it out.
Thumbs down from Adam.
It's on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max, have access to it, please check it out.
Awesome. I saw I think I watched a few episodes of it a while ago. I really dug it, but for some reason it got thrown. But I'll go back now that it's done. I'll go back and watch the rest.
It was one of those things. It's the first thing in a long time that really grabbed me, and it was like, I have to sit down and watch this. And
nice.
I thought when I watched the first season, I thought it was a show from like 2010 or 2012, and didn't realize that it was only from a few years ago, and that they were in the middle of doing a second season.
Oh wow!
And so it was a nice surprise, and it's just so good, and it breaks new ground to me, and like I highly recommend it, and it's amazing.
Okay.
What have you been watching?
Nothing.
All right.
Just the grass grow, the paint dry.
We did both finally watch Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes. Oh man, I was bummed. I was disappointed. I got to be honest with you. Let's just say straight up, there's gonna be some spoilers. So if you haven't, I don't want to dance around the issues. So if you haven't seen it, zip forward or whatever. But man, I really had a problem. I thought it was really kind of, and I love Taika Waititi, and I loved the last Thor movie that he did?
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. Was that it?
Wasn't it called Ragnarok?
Wasn't this one called Ragnarok?
No, this was Love and Thunder.
Oh, Love and Thunder. Yes, right. I get them all mixed up. Anyway, the one with the Hulk where he goes to
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yeah. That was one of my favorite Marvel movies ever. And I love
it. Was done so well.
Yes.
It was written so well.
And Our Flag Means Death and
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows. Reservation Dogs. Everything he does, I'm a fan of. Yeah. And so it was just, look, everybody, who knows what happened? Everybody gets a misstep or whatever. This is, but don't give me cancer in my Marvel movies. There's enough of that in real life. And it's kind of like the mental illness issue I had with Moon Knight.
Yeah.
It's not courageous or groundbreaking to do that stuff in a silly Marvel thing. It's almost kind of disrespectful to people who have gone through it and deal with it. In a way, I'm not trying to you know what I mean? It's just, it's not, it doesn't work, is what I'm saying. No, for me, at least. No. It doesn't work to bring those real world issues into guys with tights and, lightning hammers,
Yeah. It was weird. The whole concept, the whole conceit of the movie was just weird.
And it's just, they didn't seem to know what to do with poor Natalie Portman. Her character was all over the place.
When I first started watching, Phoebe and I sat down and we started watching it. And when Natalie Portman showed up, they started talking about her. She was like, I thought she was dead. I was like, no, they just literally never tied it up. She just didn't. She was in the movies and then she went away and that was it. And I understand that they were trying to figure out a way to tie up that relationship storyline and all that. And that's fine.
It's by killing her.
Yeah. But the way they did it, it just seemed so off. It seemed so not right.
It was not organic. It was very much like, and then it seemed like a bunch of solutions to problems that you didn't need.
Yeah.
Yes. And it made the movie bloaty, and it just I get it to me, it's just kind of a failed experiment. I get when you're doing these movies, these guys that are auteurs or more on the arty side of directing or more they want to kind of give their own stamp on it, but you also have to work within that universe. And within the parameters of that thing. And if you go too much over one side or the other, it sticks out and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. I felt like he was trying to do service to every character in that Thor world. But by doing that, he stretched himself really thin and didn't do service to any of them.
Agreed. That was very good. Adam.
Thank you.
And also, come on, Liam.
Yeah.
Just relax on the gym for a second. You're not the Hulk, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did somebody call him puny or something? What's going on? Is this like a Australian bet or something? I don't know. Just come on. You don't need to be that big. It's distracting. And it doesn't add.
Yeah. It was just so weird. Even the fact that they brought back Liam's brother to play those characters that were in Ragnarok and Matt Damon and it was all this stuff. It was like they looked at Ragnarok and go, "Hey, this all worked. Mm-hmm. Let's do it again."
Yeah, and let's do it longer and less subtly.
When they introduced Valkyrie in Ragnarok, there was more character development in the first 20 seconds of her character where she steps off the ship and then passes out and drops off the ship than there was in the entirety of Love and Thunder.
They didn't know what to do with her either. And my favorite part of the movie was that last shot with the rock guy that he plays.
Korg.
Holding hands with the guy with the mustache. It was just beautiful and awesome. And but I wanted to love it. That's the problem. I want to like things. I don't look at things to be like, okay, I'm going to pick that part out. I'm going to pick it apart. I'm going to pick it because I'm bitter. I want to love stuff. And it's just, it bums me out when I don't. And like I said, is it the worst movie ever? Is it the worst Marvel movie ever? No. But I think it might be his worst movie.
I definitely think it's his weakest of
Yeah.
all the stuff he's done.
Yeah.
And that's still saying it's not bad.
Yes, yes.
It's just that.
But you expect more. I expect
Yeah.
more from him. I expect more from the Coen brothers. I expect more from Martin Scorsese. You know, there's certain people that I expect more from.
Right.
You know?
Right. It was interesting because it seemed like on paper every element of it should have worked.
Yeah.
I mean, even Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Like, it should have worked.
He was so look. I know people wasn't a big fan, but I thought it was hilarious. I love when serious, people poke at themselves.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he pranced around and was
100%.
silly and was goofy, and it was fun to watch him be goofy. I wanted to see more. There was a deleted scene that I saw that made it look like they kind of teamed up after that thing, and he helped him. And I would much rather see that than him getting quotes killed.
Yeah.
Why everybody in the Marvel universe can come back to life except women? That's the only thing. Why, Black Widow,
technically,
the Gamora.
well, we don't. Okay,
I'm just saying.
Hold your horses.
How many men in the Marvel universe are perma-dead, and how many women are?
Super spoiler for Love and Thunder. Did you watch the post-credit scene?
Which one? The one with Hercules?
No, with her going into Valhalla. There's a very strong possibility that Natalie Portman's going to come back.
No, she's in. Well, no, because she lives in Valhalla now. You don't come back.
In Egypt. I 100% guarantee you the next Thor movie is going to be somehow related to Valhalla.
Maybe
it is. It will be somehow. Yes, there will be something.
Well, I'm just saying. Look,
and also to be super Marvel nerd, we don't know about Gamora yet because we haven't seen another Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So
okay, Tony Stark died, but everybody kind of wanted that.
He sacrificed himself literally to save half the universe, and they had a really long funeral scene.
Oh God, it was so long.
Yeah,
I was even invited.
But to go back to Russell Crowe and like how that could have been, like the team up thing, because you saw glimpses of that when he's being all bombastic and he's being big, and then he comes down and he whispers to Thor, "Yeah, I'm really scared, man."
Well, that's
what freaks me out.
Yes, and I think that's the problem. Is there's glimpses of a great movie, in this mediocre movie, and that's what makes it sad.
From the very beginning. The main issue I had from the very beginning is that they pulled in the bad guy. I can't think of his name.
Oh, Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. They pulled in Christian Bale to be the God Killer, or the God Killer, or whatever the hell his name is. He immediately, I was like, wow, he looks just like Kratos from God of War. Maybe they should have rethought this. Yeah. That was my first thought when I saw him. I was like,
Kratos that lost a lot of weight. Kratos on a
yeah, but I'm saying is that it was literally essentially the same archetype character. And I'm like, okay, the God of War series is incredible.
Yeah.
The video game series, and I'm sure, I don't know if you played it or not, but like the whole storyline is fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's literally Gore the God Killer storyline. He's mad and his wife dies and he has to go kill all the gods.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have that already. Why does that have to be introduced into the Marvel Universe?
Who knows?
Anyway.
Watch it if you want. It's not horrible, but it isn't. It's
disappointing.
It's just a bummer.
I don't know. I'm going to watch it again at some point. And, because I also had high expectations. And I put that on myself.
Yeah.
But,
well, of course you do. I mean, he's a great filmmaker. Yeah. And the Thor, and it's also that Thor didn't change it all through. It's like almost everything that happened that he went through, all the heart-wrenching stuff from the, losing an eye and all that.
All that amazing character development.
Yeah, it was just like, okay, let's ignore that and make him a goon again.
Rewind
a goofy guy.
And start at zero.
I'm just a goof. Well, you know what movie was good? I don't know. I don't think you've seen it.
No.
Vengeance.
Yeah.
The new
I need to see that.
BJ Novak.
Yeah.
Film. Really good. Really good. Just a very interesting, thoughtful New York meets West Texas situation. Okay. That's not overly simplistic or also not overly like, we're all best. You know what I mean? It hits that sweet spot between, gratuitous and nothing. You know what I mean? It's just like he nailed it. And also, I'm working really, really hard to never use the term 100% ever again.
We each used it once so far in this episode, and we're not going to
cut it out. I'm going to cut it out. Yeah, I mean, the 100% scene that he wrote is genius. Just such a great writer, and did a great job in it. And Ashton Kutcher's great, and the people that play the family of the girlfriend that he comes to the funeral for. It's just a really great, interesting movie. And it's got some little twisties and turnies, and it's definitely worth your time. I think it's on Peacock.
Yes. In the vein of Halloween coming up, I watched the first 3 Psycho movies.
Oh, nice.
I will say, Psycho 2 had Robert Loggia in it.
Robert Loggia.
Which I didn't realize. Apparently, the majority of people majority of critics really, really disliked Psycho 2.
Well, it's big baby shoes to fill, man.
Sure.
And can I just ask, did Robert Loggia go up and go, "You're a psycho"? 2.
No, he does not.
No. There wasn't like a second Psycho, and he's like, "You're a psycho, and you're a psycho."
I mean,
2.
technically, there is more than it's the story gets super complicated by the end, but it's great. I thought it was a great movie, and I literally watched it right after I watched Psycho, and as a sequel, I thought it worked really well.
Oh, check it out again.
It picked up, like 27 years later or whatever, and I thought it. Or 22 years later. But I thought it worked really well. And then I watched Psycho 3, and Psycho 3, apparently the critics thought it was a much better movie than Psycho 2. Huh? And I heartily disagree.
Is that the one with Henry Thomas?
No. I literally just watched it, and I barely remember it.
Is there Psycho 4?
There was Psycho 4 at the beginning.
Yeah, that's, I think, with Henry Thomas.
That came in 94, I think, with Henry Thomas as the young. No, Psycho 3 essentially picks up right after Psycho 2 ends, and it's just Norman Bates being a wonderfully insane person. But it's not... Not Norman Bates. Anthony Perkins. Anthony Perkins directed Psycho 3, and not that it was directed poorly, it just really didn't make any sense.
Okay.
The story picks up with a nun that's trying to kill herself, and then she's on a thing. She accidentally kills her mother's superior. She knocks her off of a ledge, and she dies.
As it happens.
And then so she's like crazy, and then she falls in love with Norman Bates,
as they do.
Jeff Fahey's in it.
As he is.
He's so weird and creepy and gross in it.
Oh, Jeffy.
And it's just it's like. The beginning of Psycho 2, like he comes back after he gets out in the insane asylum for 22 years, and there's a oh god, I can't remember his name. The guy running it is brilliant. It's the most gross character, and he's so great in it. But he's running it and essentially running like a sex motel.
Oh,
like he's using it as like
the Bates Motel.
Yeah, the Bates Motel is like a sex motel, and so of course Norman Bates fires him because he's like, you can't do that. Psycho 3. He literally just turns it into a sex motel. Like he just turns around and is like, whatever, Jeff Fahey, do whatever you want. And it's like, okay. He
came around.
Yeah.
He looked at the number, he crunched the numbers, and was like, sex motel, not so bad.
But it's funny because Psycho is kind of like how One Crazy Summer is for you. If I'm in a bad mood, I put Psycho on, and I actually feel way better afterwards.
Yikes.
It's such a great movie.
It is. It is a great movie. No, it is. Yes, that definitely deserves. I've been trying not to watch movies that I've seen, except for the stuff we do for the show, just to kind of expand.
Sure.
Try to find something new. And and I've seen some pretty good stuff. I started watching the Dahmer series.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Poor Evan Peters, man. I don't know what he did to Ryan Murphy to make him play just the most despicable human beings ever on Earth. It's like, I can't. Ryan Murphy's going to be like Hitler the musical, starring Evan Peters.
Evan Peters.
Yes, the devil, starring. But he is good. He is so good.
I mean, if you had a chance to play Dahmer, wouldn't you?
Oh, I definitely would.
Yeah.
I definitely would. I've played a lot of. I think serial killer is probably the part I played the most.
Yeah.
But it's just. It's just so funny to, hey there, you want to come back so I can take some pictures of you? And, it's just like Mr. Rogers is a serial killer. hey there, here, have your drink. What do you want, the Bones Farm? Okay, I'll get it for you. Oh, just chill out for a second. Oh, don't worry about the drill in your head. Hey.
I'm just trying to turn you into a zombie,
Yeah, look, hey, officer, it's my boyfriend, eh? We're doing gay stuff in there. You may not want to come in because, we're doing some gay stuff.
You're doing gay stuff?
It's just like...
Oh, you're fine. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you later now.
It's also maddening because of the police. And, it's basically... They walk into a unfinished murder scene and are like, all right, finish up, buddy. Just don't let us see any, weird sex things.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting you killing a child. It's disturbing, but it is so well done. It is gross, and it just feels gross. You can't binge it, or you will just you'll. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you can't binge it because it's just.
A friend of mine said that after every episode, he's like, "I gotta go take a shower." Yeah, because it just feels so gross.
It's grimy. It's the grimiest show. It just in a way like his apartment. You can smell the smell from watching it. That's how good it is.
Wow.
How visceral this thing is.
Wow. That's awesome.
Kudos. I haven't seen the whole thing, so it may drop a deuce coming up. But so far, it's great.
Pretty great.
And
it actually connects to Psycho because Ed Gein, who they based Norman Bates on, is from Wisconsin as well.
Oh yeah,
Wisconsin.
A lot of guys there.
Hometown, home ground of lots of serial killers.
Guys that like eating. We like trying long pork.
We're really obsessed with people's skin.
Yeah, we want to eat hearts, and we want to eat people. I got a couple of heads in the fridge, so you're gonna have to get behind them if you want to grab a beer. Just don't mind those heads.
I can make you a new belt if you want.
Yeah, those are genitals in a bag in my fridge. That's on me.
That's just my neighbor. Don't worry, it's fine. He said he was okay. He said it was okay.
And his poor neighbors.
How do you not? Because
they did know, and they called the cops. And
okay.
According to this, his next door neighbor, she was the one that called the cops about the naked kid running down the street.
Because he lived in an apartment building, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they complained about the smell all the time. And he would always say, "Oh, I ate a lot of meat. My family sent me a lot of pork chops in the fridge. It died on me, so I got to get rid of that meat."
It's a very distinct smell. And it's really obvious.
They dropped the ball big time.
The cops were not good at their jobs.
No, but he's just the most mellow serial. It's just he's so bland.
It shows how you can talk your way out of anything if you're just a really boring white guy.
And his apparently feel-good movie, his Psycho for you and One Crazy Summer for me, was Exorcist 3.
Oh, my God. Yes. What?
That's what he would make his...
what a choice. All right.
Anyway, and he just looks great. The guy, Evan Peters, is such an amazing actor. He has got so much range. Watching him, and Ryan Murphy and they do great work together.
They're the pair that Savage Steve Holland and John Cusack could have been.
Yeah, well, yes. They're if you go in the complete opposite direction of Joy, and they're the misery version of those two. But yeah, they do some really great work. What else have I been watching? What else have I seen there?
What else have you been watching? I'm going to do the whole rest of the episode in a Wisconsin accent.
Oh. So we finally got through Moon Knight.
Yes.
Which I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it. I didn't like it.
We already talked about it too much.
Yeah. It was a big misseroo for me.
It didn't work.
Yeah. Did not like it. But it freed us up to finally get on to the Ms. Marvel wagon.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. I love that show. It reminds me of a Savage Steve Holland movie. It's just got like the animation and the joy. And the lead actor, she is a marvel.
Hey.
No pun intended.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I didn't even mean to do that. I just have brain damage. No, but she is so good. Everybody in
Everybody's great.
The
Her
mother,
mom,
the dad,
the
brother,
the dad.
It's just so fun. It's like it's after the dirge that was Moon Knight, after the soulless
sludge.
I will say Ethan Hawke did a great job. He was having fun with it.
Yes, until he even lost his way in that show.
Well, it wasn't his fault. I don't blame the. I blame I kind of blame Poe Dameron because he should have known better.
Oscar
Isaac.
I actually blame the showrunner, which is odd because he does really good work, and I was very surprised by how much I did not like this.
It was another huge disappointment. Let's not besmirch Miss Marvel's joy with talking more about that. Gross. But we're almost. I mean, we've been flying through that. We're probably going to finish it today. We're on the last episode, and then we get to go into She-Hulk, which I'm really excited for.
I'm so excited about She-Hulk.
But Ms. Marvel, man, if you haven't seen it, that is
so good,
so much fun. It's got that Spider-Man vibe.
Yeah.
You know, just the the Buffy vibe. It's just got that fun high school. And it's also just really good at showing, hey, we're all just human beings.
Yeah. It built the world very well, and it just lives in it. And it's there. It's like I mean, the fact that I learned about the partition, which I had no idea between India and Pakistan, like I had no idea about that. Like I knew there was something, but I didn't know any details. And this show does that so well without being like, I'm teaching you something.
Well, it really respects the culture.
Yeah.
And it really respects Pakistan, and it really respects, without glorifying it or deifying it. I think that's to contrast to the other show, Moon Knight. The whole Egyptian thing was just kind of insulting. And
I didn't learn anything about the Egyptian culture. I didn't learn anything about their mythology. I didn't learn. I mean, nothing I already knew.
Right, exactly. They didn't break any new ground.
No, it was like,
it was a tool rather than it was a bug rather than a feature. And I think the way that they use culture in Ms. Marvel is perfect.
Yes, I agree. I'm excited. We only have to watch the finale of it, and I'm excited to see it. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see where they go with it. Like it's such a good beginning to a character.
Great origin story.
Yeah,
really great origin story. And I'm also really excited. Maybe if we have time today, we can also start Andor.
Yeah,
which has popped up.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that too. I'm curious. I've heard very good things. The first episode just came out, I think just the first episode. Yeah. But I'm very excited. I heard some very good things, some very positive things from friends.
What I'm hearing is it's like the first adult Star Wars show.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
more mature.
Yeah.
Which, I've loved all the Star Wars shows that they've released. I think they do a much better job with the shows than they do with the movies.
At this point, yeah.
So far.
Sure.
I mean, is there some you're
skeptical? I don't mind the movies. Like I really liked The Last Jedi. I thought it was done really well. I don't like where the story went and how it ended, but I mean, this is the thing. It comes down to, you've got Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau that really know what they're doing. They're big fans. They treat the series with reverence that it deserves, or the franchise with the reverence it deserves.
And I think, to be fair, they don't have that they don't have the onus of doing the first non-Lucas Star Wars thing. That must have been a daunting task. I mean, especially the first one, which it's not a horrible movie, but I didn't like it very much. But
the episode 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was for. I get it. They erred on the side of fan service.
It was trying a little too hard.
Yeah, but I also understand how stressful that must have been.
Sure.
For everybody involved, and how many cooks must have been in that kitchen.
Yeah.
And how many people must have been on your butt. And then to not have a cohesive plan for the entire trilogy.
Yeah.
That's what screwed them up. It's like you can't give it to 3 different directors with 3 different stories and then try to put something together that ties up a neat story. It's just all over the place.
The episode 7, they were like, all right, we're going to do this. And then they gave it to a an auteur, so to speak, with Rian Johnson. And then Disney freaked out and was like, nope, we're going to go back to episode 7 and do this stuff.
Yeah. But I will say that Rogue One was great. Like it was a very cool. That's why I'm really psyched for Andor, because it's a lot of the same characters. And it is that era, and so I like that whole spy thriller kind of. It's like a World War II spy thriller, but with the Empire.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see where they go with it.
It'll be fun.
I did see in the theater. I finally saw Nope.
Oh, nice.
Which might be my favorite movie of the year. The more I think about it, the more that I was very happy I got to see it in the theater. It's a very layered very deep movie. It comes. It doesn't seem like it, but that's kind of what Jordan Peele does.
Oh yeah,
like it
He's
seems
subtle.
like it's just you can just take it as a popcorn movie and it's fun, but there's so much more going on.
Yeah,
and that movie has one of the greatest openings I've ever seen. Go into it knowing very little.
I'm so far so good.
Avoid anything you can because there's a section or a piece of that movie that I had no idea existed, and it opens with it, and it was so messed up and so amazing that it's so good. I'm really excited for you to see it when it'll probably be on streaming pretty soon.
I hope so.
I'm excited for you to see it so we can talk about it because it's really good.
It's something I really wanted to see. I'm really looking forward to it. So it should be out pretty soon. It'll probably be on Paramount Plus, I'm going to guess. No, probably Peacock seems to be grabbing a lot of the movies.
I don't know. It'll be on something. It'll definitely be on something. So I mean, but it should be pretty soon. I mean, we saw it much later into the run, the theatrical run. So I mean, I assume it'll be out soon. What have you been playing?
What have I been playing?
Video games. What have you been playing?
I played a little bit of Deathloop.
Yeah,
which I really liked.
Yeah, I still haven't finished that yet.
It's got that cool kind of 70s, the prisoner vibe to it.
The aesthetic vibe is great.
And I like the lead, Colt.
He's great.
He's badass.
It has some of the best of VO where he just walks around and suddenly he'll just mutter to himself and stuff. It's really great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's getting used to the like resetting. My memory is not as good to like remember where stuff is. I should probably keep a journal or something. But that was really fun. And then I've almost finished Red Dead Redemption.
Still haven't finished it yet?
I'm kind of holding on to that last mission for a while.
I thought you did.
I might today. Okay. I've just it's hard. I'm going to probably replay it again, but I'm going to wait until they do the next gen thing.
The next gen.
But that is my favorite game of all time. But I did start playing. You got frustrated.
Yeah, with, I started playing Horizon Forbidden West. And the problem is that I started playing it when I wasn't busy, and then I got super busy, and I tried to to be like that. Hey, I just have some time off. I'm gonna not stress out and whatever. And it got to a point where I was like, this game is more stressful than the work I'm doing. Yeah. So I was like, I got to stop for a bit.
Yeah, well, to my benefit, because I started playing it, and it's great. It is gorgeous. It plays super great. Everything is great. It is big, and I'm starting to realize that I get anxiety. I'm not a typical anxiety guy.
Yeah.
But sometimes in these open worlds, when the map finally opens up and you just see all of this S that you're going to have to do, you're just looking at like 300 hours.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming. But then once you get into the groove, it's great.
Yeah.
And then once you get about 10 hours in and you're really in your groove, then it's just great. And but it's every journey begins with the first step.
You really need to like just focus on a certain task.
Yeah, or an area.
Just be like, all right, I'm going to go here.
That's how I do it. I focus on an area and try to clear it out before moving on. But it's so easy to get distracted in these types of games because not only are there all these things, but then you find new things, and then there's new things that lead to new things, and those things lead to other things, and then that gives you this, and you got to get that, and then you got to find this for that. Ubisoft announced that they're doing Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is a much smaller, more
streamlined.
Yeah, back to the basics of the Assassin's Creed. Not one of their. I like their RPGs. I like the direction that it's gone.
World stuff,
I love it. Again, a little anxiety, but
they are huge.
But it's bang for your buck, baby. You'll be playing that game for a year, and but I'm kind of excited for that. And then there's this other game. I think it's called Evil West.
Oh, okay.
That is just basically an action shooter. It's like I think I showed you the trailer for it. It's just kind of like this third-person, bloody Western action. Yeah, it looks kind of like a third-person Western Doom. Something where maybe you're on rails, but it's just taking you through an adventure, or like Guardians of the Galaxy game, which I really like.
That was super fun. Yeah.
Which is kind of it's an adventure that you go on.
Yeah, or the Uncharted games, kind of like that.
Exactly.
Like it seems like an open world, but you're being driven a certain way.
You have a story to go through, which I love. RPGs in the open world and getting lost and stuff, especially in worlds like Red Dead Redemption, where you can just spend an entire day setting up camp and hunting and fishing.
Yeah.
You play it whatever way you want to do. I love that freedom, but I also really like the entertainment experience of doing something that is more. You're playing a movie, kind of. You're playing like
exactly.
interactive film.
Yeah.
And I think that Evil West looks really fun.
Yeah.
And then the new God of War.
Talk about
that's Ragnarok,
driving.
Right?
Yeah,
that's why I keep getting everything mixed up because there's a new Ragnarok coming out now, and then the babbity boob.
It's everybody in the last 5 years. Hollywood decided to use all of the Viking mythology for everything.
Yes, it's
crazy.
Modern Family Ragnarok. It's coming in the fall. Oh, speaking
Stephen Levitan.
Yeah, he's got that new series reboot.
Yeah,
which I'm enjoying. I really like the pilot episode.
Yeah.
A couple episodes in, I'm still enjoying it. I'm still liking it.
Not quite as strong as the pilot.
There's a little bit of the Modern Family dynamic.
Oh yeah.
That I get it because it's I understand, but it just seems a little similar, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. I'm still really enjoying the show.
Yeah.
I love the actors. Keegan-Michael Key. He's amazing.
So funny.
And
Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville's great. And Judy Greer. I love Judy Greer.
So brilliant.
It is, and she is amazing in this. And the chemistry between her and Keegan-Michael Key, it is unreal. It's great. Look, I'm really enjoying it. The kid that plays the kid, it's got this really cool dynamic of, it was a 90s show.
Yeah.
And this person wants to reboot it, like an edgy version of it, for Hulu, and it's on Hulu. The goofiest thing I saw, I got to rib Keegan-Michael Key for just a second. I saw an interview with him, and they were talking about it. And he was like, "Ed, it's a show about a reboot on Hulu, and it's on Hulu." And the way he said it was so cheesy. I was like, "Is this a bit?"
Yeah, it probably was.
I hope so. No, I love him so much. It was just everybody in it is great. Paul Reiser, I'm starting to dig him again.
Yeah,
but some of my Paul Reiser, I think it's
residual kind of angriness.
Yeah, but I think it's because of his character. It's not his fault. He's really good. But there's a dynamic shift, like a twist at the end of the pilot that I'm not that it's taking me a little bit of time to warm up to because it reminds me a little bit too much of a relationship in Modern Family. And I'm just going to be vague about it because I don't want to spoil it for you. But I think that's what I need to get over. But I am really enjoying it.
Okay. It's funny that you talk about that because I've been watching Frasier now that we finished Cheers.
Oh, my God.
Stephen Levitan was one of the main writers on that show.
Oh, nice.
I had no idea. It just his name suddenly popped up on the screen. I was like, oh, my God. It's Stephen Levitan. It's oh, my God. Which is a great show. And we just finished the second season. And I will say the finale of the second season was one of the best written sitcoms I've ever seen.
Really?
It was done so well.
Oh.
And so incredible. And I'm enjoying rewatching. I didn't really watch Frasier when it came out. I had gone into college and I was busy doing other stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been very nice to rewatch it.
It's good.
It's a great show.
It's one of the best spin-offs.
Yeah.
That and Mork and Mindy and the Bird and Shirley and the Ropers.
And
Three's a Crowd. And I could go on and on.
Yeah.
Just a few quick shout-outs. I'm almost done. No, I did finish. I finished the third season of Harley Quinn. Great.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
I hope it comes back. It was a really deep, interesting season. Yeah, it was different than the other ones. Really, really enjoyed that show. I watched the Netflix documentary Sins of Our Mother, I think it's called.
Sins of Our Mother, yeah.
About Lori Vallow.
Oh,
and that horrific... That I don't normally get sucked in to things like, like grisly things in real life. Like, but for some reason, I was fascinated with the Lori Vallow case as it was happening.
Oh, okay.
Because it was this woman who her children basically disappeared and she wouldn't produce them. She just kept saying like, oh no, there was so-and-so or they're over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's like, if you don't know the story, I mean, the whole thing is just horrific. And but I recommend watching it if you want to know.
I'll also give it a shot.
The depravity of And again, I think it's like within the Mormon community or whatever. No offense to Mormons, but all this true crime stuff, it's like happens to Mormons more than anybody else.
Well, the Mormon church is from what I can tell, is becoming less repressive.
And I just want to say that Lori Valo and the man that she married, this was not Mormonism that they believed in that caused all of this stuff to happen. Sure. I'm not blaming this on Mormonism. Sure. I'm just saying that it seems like people within the Mormon community get susceptible. Like when I listen to true crime podcasts, it's like, she was active in the Mormon church.
Well, this is what I'm saying is that I think that when you are presented with a very repressive like sociology, like a society that is very repressive and like you can't do these things, you can't do these things. When these people act out, they act out in very extreme ways.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that, and especially if there's mental illness involved, and because it exacerbates that type of thing. Yeah. And this was, there was definitely some delusions of grandeur, some serious mental issues, but it doesn't excuse anything.
No, of course
it's not. Just horrifying, and just the way people can seemingly change.
Yeah,
is horrifying.
Yeah,
it just scares me sometimes.
People lie to themselves a lot. You believe your own lies, and then really bad things happen.
Gross.
I haven't had as much time to play video games, so like I have a slew of the PlayStation Plus stuff I haven't even started because I've been so busy.
This week I haven't had any time to play at all. It's good. It's good to take a break every once in a while. Yeah. You take a week off or so, and then it's get a little burnout.
Yeah.
Especially if you're playing the same thing.
I've been continuing to play Like a Dragon,
nice.
Which I'm excited to finish. It's the most bizarre RPG I've ever played.
Oh yeah, the Yakuza series.
Yeah, the Yakuza series, which they're now calling the Like a Dragon series. Yeah. And I did pick up. It was on sale, so I picked up the sequel to Judgment called Lost Judgment, which is from the same company, set in the same area but different characters. But I really, really liked Judgment, the original game.
It was fun. You're like a private investigator.
Yeah. It's interesting. So I'm really curious to see how Lost Judgment was made for the next gen. So I'm really curious to see how that looks.
I need to finish Judgment. You're really good at finishing games. You're really good about finishing stuff. I have a pile of sadness that's just like, I just don't know why. I don't know. I think there's just too many games, and then something, it's like bright and shiny, comes and grabs your attention, and then I just automatically go back to Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, you got to have your old fallbacks. I mean, it's good. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff coming up that I'm curious. I mean, I'm really excited about God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
The trailers for it it's been incredible. The original God of War is so good. Not original, the current new original
the last God
thing,
of War.
Whatever. Yeah, it was so good. And
another one I need to finish.
I will probably finish it again before you finish it.
And two.
Yeah.
Probably before I finish. Oh man, that Rockstar leak happened. What a shame. It's gross. All of these people that are like, "Oh man, this game looks like crap. It looks so stupid." It's like, dude, this is the preliminaries. This isn't the end. This is like showing, it's like judging a Bugs Bunny cartoon on a pencil sketch.
I am a firm believer that if this goes to movies, video games, TV shows, whatever, that you should watch it the way that the person creating it intended it.
Yes.
And for movies, a lot of times that's why I like going to the theater, because it's like I made this to be seen in a theater, in a dark room with a bunch of other people. With streaming, they're making these Star Wars shows to be sitting in your living room watching. So you watch it that way. No one at Rockstar intended anyone in the public to see this stuff.
No, and one of my favorite things, they do such great reveals.
Yeah.
And I was so excited to see the reveal for 6, because it was good. The stuff that I saw, and look, I peeked. I had to peek. I had to.
And then you held me down and forced me to peek too.
I just had to, because I am so excited for this game. Rockstar is my favorite developer of all time, and GTA 6 is my most anticipated game.
Yeah.
That's, unless they made a Red Dead Redemption 3.
You've been waiting 10 years for it.
Exactly. And so I had to peek. And And it made me excited, but it also made me sad because now I won't get the reveal of where it is, where I'm so excited where it is. And I won't get the reveal of what the character or characters are because I've seen them, or what, And the worst part about it is this is probably going to delay the game further because they released the source code of the game. For those that don't know, it makes the game vulnerable for hackers because they can get into the source code or they can get in, and there's definitely going to be a online component to this.
Yeah. The way I looked at it, the stuff that I saw, it was like, oh, okay. Like, I know this is a work in progress. The stuff I saw looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not finished.
No.
I'm not going to judge it based off of a finished video game. So it's like, okay, I like where they're at.
Yeah.
The saddest part about it is that Rockstar now is potentially just going to be like, well, F all you guys. Like, we're just going to let this sit for a while.
They won't do that. But they may have to, like I said, delay it to alter the code or whatever. It's not good for anybody. This kind of stuff is not good for anybody. I don't understand people even the people that are just need to know, like, what is all the Star Wars movies about? What is this? Why?
Yeah.
Who killed your joy? Don't you want to be surprised? And isn't the whole point?
Why don't you like to experience things? What's wrong with you?
Does your snivelly little need to be a know-it-all overpower your desire to be entertained?
These are the people that open the book and then read the last 3 pages and be like, well, I don't need to read the book now.
No, they read the last 3 pages and then they go to the next person. I know who did it. It was someone. And it's like, F you, pal.
Do you remember when, I think it was the book 6 of Harry Potter, maybe in the last book, but when it came out when the movies were already coming out, so like it was finishing. But I remember seeing a clip online of all these people waiting in line at Barnes & Noble, and someone had gotten a hold of a copy early, and they drove by screaming spoilers.
No!
And I was just like, what is wrong with you?
That's so mean.
And it was a big spoiler, the biggest spoiler in the entire franchise.
That Harry Potter was a Jedi all along?
That he was, yes. No, it was just like, come on. Like, that's just crap.
I hate that stuff.
Why?
I hate it.
Why rob someone else of joy? I don't understand how you think that makes you feel better.
Miserable people want to make people miserable, Adam.
But why are you miserable? Why, Jim?
Wait, I don't want to make anybody miserable.
Lay down on my couch. Let's do the next hour for therapy.
No. Oh, please. Nobody wants to hear that.
Not a fan of trolls. Not a fan.
No, it's just bullies, and I hate bullies. And they're the worst kind of bullies because they're anonymous little troll bullies that they don't have to deal with any of the repercussions of their actions. This guy, hopefully this hacker will, because what he did was illegal. I hope he goes to jail.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff, like I said, it's bad for everybody. It just makes it so we can't have nice things, Adam.
There was a great episode of, I think it was Queer Eye for the Straight Guy way back when it first ran. And there was some dude, they were helping this guy. I don't know if this is the first time I ever heard that line, but this guy had this nice vase and he dropped it. And the camera pans up to him and he just goes, "This is why we can't have nice things." And I was like, oh my God, you poor man. You poor man.
Yeah. So, blah. But at least we know GTA 6 is coming. And
probably
it's 2025 now.
I like where they're at with it. I like where it is. I'm excited for it. It made me more excited for it.
Yeah.
It made me realize that, hey, it might actually come out before I die. So
I hope so.
So, hey, I'm cool with that.
Better make it quick, Rockstar.
Oh, hey.
Not about you.
Hey. Oh, okay. All right. You. Well, we're pretty much out of time. So
so
I think we're done.
We're done, says Adam. You're done, buddy.
I ran out of beers 3 minutes ago, so...
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay on the podcast. Get out.
I'm very excited about next month.
Oh, yeah. We're
getting into that Halloween-y spirit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Spooktober.
Spooktober.
Yeah, no, we got some good ones for you this month. We're going 80s style horror with Nightmare on Elm Street, The Orig, with Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Heather Langenkamp.
Oh, such a great death for Johnny. And Child's Play.
Yeah.
The original. And Hellraiser.
Yeah, we're going to start with Hellraiser. because it has a remake coming out.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And everybody's losing their mind because something changed.
Oh, no.
Yay.
Oh, no. How can you ruin my childhood like that?
Oh, my God. Ugh.
I hate that every time. Every time on social media I say somebody say that. It just happened recently.
It happens every day because people are idiots.
Why? Literally nobody is taking those things away from you. Do you realize that?
Without giving this any traction or attention, I'm just going to say this. It's all make-believe, you morons. It's all make-believe, you moronic, foolish bigots. Anyway, have a great week.
Thanks for listening.
We'll be back next week with some scaries. Reservoir Dogs.
Reservation Dogs.
Reservation Dogs. What did I say? Reservoir Dogs.
It's okay.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. The Facts of Life. Already in progress.